All right, well, I think I'm going to get going. It's 3 after at this point. Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for coming to this presentation. My name is Rob Del Mastro, and I am with the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center, and we work out of Clark University. Clark graciously hosts us here. So today we're going to talk about making better business decisions using Google Analytics. We have a lot to cover here, so I'm just going to kind of dive right in. So general ground rules, questions are welcomed. Best method is to throw them in the chat. Sarah's going to be monitoring them, and I'll try to monitor them as I'm talking, and I'll definitely take breaks to answer those questions as we go along. My goal is to try to end at about 45 minutes into this, and then try to do some Q&A after that. I can bring up our Google Analytics for our website. So if there's specific questions that are better answered by showing you, I'll be able to do that. And I'm willing to stay, beyond the 1 hour as well. But I understand as business owners, time is precious. So with that, we will begin. So for those of you who don't know us, the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center is actually part of a national organization, the America's Small Business Development Center. And we were born out of the federal government back in the 70s. And our sole mission is to work with small businesses. And as our mission statement says, it's to help foster the start, growth, and sustainability of small businesses. We provide no-cost, confidential one-on-one consulting with small businesses. And our goal is to work with that business for the life of that business. You won't need us every day, every month, every year, but as your business grows and situations come up, we like to be there for you to help you answer questions and guide your business. So that's who we are. This presentation today was actually provided by Google. Go figure, we're talking about Google Analytics. I am a Grow with Google partner, and as I said, they provided this presentation. I've modified it to kind of tailor it towards talking a little more about marketing versus using their tools. Google Analytics is a beast. It is a extremely robust product with many dimensions, many components. To actually become certified in Google Analytics, Google provides a 6-month course to give you a little perspective on how big the product is. So obviously we're not going to cover all that in 1 hour. The goal here is to help you understand how it can help you in your business, give you a little flavor for what it can do and what it can provide. And then afterwards, go out on your own, try to learn it. If you need some assistance, you could register with us and I can assist you as best as I can. I am not a certified Google Analytics person, but I have used it quite a bit for my businesses as well as for our business here. So we'll start with a quote. Data makes your briefcase heavy. Insights make you rich. Love the quote. I spent a good part of my professional career working in the insurance industry, helping executives transform data into information. And there's significant power there. Decisions that you make as, for your business all should be based on informed data, informed information. And so this tool that we're going to talk about today, Google Analytics, helps us make some informed decisions about our marketing campaigns that we do, about our website. Is our website actually doing what we really thought we wanted it to do? So data tells a story, right? In this particular instance, when we're talking about Google Analytics in your website, it can tell you of where the people who are visiting your website are from. How did they find you? So it actually will show you the sources in which they came from to get to your website. What do they find the most interesting? The counter to that is, what don't they find interesting? and then what sparks their curiosity. So it is a very powerful tool to help you make, good decisions as you go along. So our goal today, let's tie marketing strategy to fact. We're going to talk a little bit about SMART goals, if anyone's familiar with those. We'll do an introduction to Google Analytics. And as I said, I'll give you kind of the basics of what the product can do and how to traverse through it. And in the end, we'll pull it all together. And then if we have time, as I said, we'll get into some Q&A. And as I said, if you've got questions along the way, please feel free to throw them in the chat, and Sarah will interrupt me. All right, so tie marketing strategies to fact. So we all have, hopefully, we all have a website. We all have engagement in social media. In today's world, digital marketing is by far the most popular marketing tool that's out there, and really one of the most effective that's out there. Obviously, depending on your business, that there's variations to that comment, but for the most part, most of our clients are using digital marketing. What I see the most, though, with my clients is that they just put stuff out. They put stuff on their website. They go out and do posts out on social media, and really never really check to validate, is it doing what you think it's going to do? And I'm going to give you an example of myself. I started a co-working space quite a while ago at this point. And I did my first Facebook ad. I was so excited. I put it together. I think I ran it for a week, and I was thrilled. I got over, I think it was like 2,000 people interacted with my Facebook post. And I thought, shit, this is easy. I can do this. But unfortunately, when I then started to look into the analytics of the people who actually saw that Facebook post, went to my website, Google Analytics was able to tell me that these were individuals basically from a demographic that would never use my co-working space. Obviously, something in my post that I put out there drew this group of individuals to my website. And I can see on Google Analytics within 30 seconds, almost every single one of them left my website. So that's a great example of using a tool to understand the effectiveness of a marketing campaign, if you will. So when you do stuff on social media and on your website, or if you do Google ads, these are some of the questions that you've got to ask after you run that campaign. Did the right people respond to your posts? And what specific demographics are using your site the most? Are people using your website as expected? One of the neat tools in Google Analytics is you can actually trace the path that people take through your website to give you an idea of how are they using your website. How long do people stay on your site? In this particular case, they were at basically hit my homepage and said, nope, not what I was interested in, and left. That's an important thing to know, because if you find most of your clients are doing that, then you need to do something on your homepage that's different, right? You need to put more call to action buttons on it, or you need to reformat your homepage. Is there a particular page where you're finding most people are exiting? So maybe that page needs to be refreshed and looked at. So using Google Analytics and actually looking at the interactions and who's doing those interactions is a vital way of making better marketing decisions. Another example I'm going to give is one of my clients. She sells wax-based products. She's been doing a bunch of social media posts for her products. And one thing that we noticed was almost, I think it was like 60% of the people who actually interacted with their post were from Texas. And so that gave us the idea, well, man, we should do a very specific campaign for individuals in Texas. So again, using the data to make good marketing decisions. When Google set this presentation up, they created Eva and Ricky. So we're going to kind of follow Eva and Ricky throughout this presentation. So they have an online clothes store. They for years sold clothes at farmers markets and local markets and did okay, and decided to kind of take off and bring this now to their website, where they now sell their products online. So gut instinct versus data-driven instinct. So many of us run our business based on gut instinct, and in some cases it works, in other cases it doesn't. Google Analytics helps you validate your gut instinct. We'll leave it at that. So they knew that their face-to-face customers loved their designs. Couldn't understand though why popular items weren't selling on their website. So with the help of Google Analytics, they were able to identify who was buying what, identified what was the actual demographic that were buying their products, and then were able to refine their marketing plans based on that information, and were able to then increase sales. All right, so that's a nice story, but that is, ultimately how you would use, Google Analytics. And so what the example that Google provided here with Eva and Ricky is that they had a particular product and it wasn't selling, so they just assumed it was a bad design, cut the price, and then took the loss and then never put it back out. But in reality, what was happening was a small percentage of individuals who were buying it, or really the only people who were buying it, were from a very specific demographic. And they can tell that by going into Google Analytics. And this enabled them to then, as I mentioned with my client with the wax-based product, we're able to then go in and focus specifically on those that particular demographic or location, and really kind of capitalize on the information that they found. So again, making decisions based on information and not just specifically on gut. As I said, I run a couple of businesses, and I know I did a lot of stuff based on gut, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. Making decisions based on information tends to always work. So I want to talk a little bit about SMART goals. So I have a question from Diane. Does this only work with WordPress? Diane, no. So Google Analytics will work virtually with almost any website that's out there, regardless of the platform that you're on. We'll talk about this a little bit later. But Google is the gorilla in the room, and so everybody plays with Google. I'll talk a little more about that a little bit later. But Google provides a code that you embed into your website, regardless if you're on Squarespace or Wix or Shopify or or using a WordPress environment. All right, so SMART goals. I'm sure many of you have heard about these. I do with my clients, we do talk about SMART goals quite a bit. SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Okay, so what does that mean? If we're talking about marketing, digital marketing, so specific, I want to increase my web traffic by 10% month over month. It's a very specific goal. It can be measured. All right, so SMART goals have to be measurable. I'm going to use unique visitors to my site as the metric to track this. So if I have 100 this month, I'm going to expect 110 next month, and then the month after that, let's see, add 11 to that, 122, and so on and so forth. Is it attainable? So we need to be realistic here. If I'm getting 100 people to my website this month, I'm not going to set a goal that says I'm going to have 1 million people to my site in 6 months. You just need to be realistic. Relevant. How does this goal actually help your business? So make sure that, when you're setting these goals, they're just not arbitrary. but they actually have some correspondence to your marketing plan or even your strategic plan as a business. And then the last one is time bound. As you set these goals, set a deadline for yourself, make yourself accountable that you're going to reach these goals. And so why do I bring up SMART goals now? Because our discussion today is all around taking your marketing plan, using a tool like Google Analytics and making it work, making it achievable, measuring the success of it. If it isn't successful, having the tools to make decisions of how to alter it, how to change it, how to make it successful going forward. You know, our websites are our windows to the world. You know, 50 years ago, you had a storefront with a window and, you know, as people walk by, that was what enticed them to walk in. Well, in today's world, that's your website. And you've got to be able to use a tool like Google Analytics to really understand, are people coming into your store? And once they're in, what are they doing? Are they leaving immediately, or are they sticking around and ultimately doing what you want them to do on your website? So back to Eva and Ricky. So they set a goal to increase visitors by 10% for the 3 target cities that they identified in their Google Analytics as the cities where people were buying their products. So they created a theme-based design. They focused their social media and advertising on those 3 cities, and then of course use Google Analytics to monitor the progress. So just a little fact. Google Analytics does not monitor your social media. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It is really solely pointing at your website and identifying the traffic on your website. But there obviously is a correlation there. If I run a Facebook ad and my ad is trying to get people to come to my website and do something, once they get to your website, Google Analytics will pick it up and kind of monitor that traffic. It also identifies the fact that they came from Facebook. And so, you know, all of your social media posts that you do, you know, should have a purpose. And oftentimes that purpose is drive traffic to your website. And so that's, you know, that's the correlation between Google Analytics and social media posts. All right, so what are your goals? When you created your website, what were the goals, you know, when you set out to build that website? You know, the ones that I have listed here are some of the most common, you know, goals of why you have a website. The one I would caution you on is brand awareness. So brand awareness often becomes an excuse as to why your marketing campaign didn't work. Oh, it doesn't matter that people didn't interact with it. They saw my logo and, you know, I've got brand awareness. Partially true, though not 100% true. You want to have, again, a SMART goal with everything that you do. And what does brand awareness mean to you? What do you want them to do? I would think you would want them to go to your website and learn more about you and your business. So think about your website. For those that don't have a website yet and maybe in the process of creating one, this is a really important discussion to have. Why are you creating a website? What are its goals? And then you can build a marketing campaign around those goals. So think about the steps in your customer's journey. So what do I mean by that? Put yourself in the shoes of your customer. How are they gonna find you? How are they gonna interact with you know, your website? Think about if you were the customer, you're going to go on Google, you're going to search. What do those search results look like? That's a whole another discussion about SEO. But okay, now they found you and they go to your website. What does your website do? You know, does it guide them towards those goals that you set for your website? So just things to think about as you build your website. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is provided by Google, obviously. It is a no-cost online tool that you can use to understand the behavior of your website and mobile apps. As I said, it is a beast. It's got a lot of pieces to it, a lot of components to it, but it's got a lot of really good information, in it. So I'm gonna take you through some of the screens and some of the, just kind of let you know some of the things that it can do for you. So why use Google Analytics? Well, we've kind of touched on this quite a bit. Understanding what your website visitors are like and how they behave, learn which marketing strategies are really working for you, and help you make better decisions on how to tailor your marketing plan, how to tailor your website to achieve the goals that you've set. So, what's interesting is you can kind of derive from Google Analytics what your audience is interested in. If you see that a lot of people are migrating to certain pages of your website and spending a lot of time on those pages, that gives you a little insight as to, yeah, you may have hit something good here. Another example from my co-working space, I used to get questions, people calling all the time talking about, well, what is co-working and how does it work and all of those things. And so to try to relieve some of the phone calls, I actually put an FAQ page out on my website. Well, lo and behold, that was the most popular page I had on my website. By watching my Google Analytics, I can see so many people, it's exactly where they would go once they got onto my site. So it gave me at least some insight that I had the right information there, and providing an FAQ page was the right thing to do. If you provide an FAQ page and you realize nobody ever goes to it, maybe you want to consider just removing it at that point. Likewise, with any other page that you put on your website. For those of you who are, in the graphic design, fields, or a photographer, you're going to put a gallery out on your web page. I'm going to guess Google Analytics is going to show a lot of traffic to your gallery and a lot of time spent on that gallery. But again, that's an assumption that you can prove by using Google Analytics. All right. Create content that your audience wants. All right, so just a little tech stuff here. Up until about a year ago, Google provided Google Analytics, and they called it Universal Analytics. All right, as of just a few days ago, July 1st, they discontinued that version of Google Analytics, and now it is Google Analytics 4. All right, you can tell which version you're on by going to the, I think that we have it here. If you go to your admin page of your Google Analytics, you can see, like right here, I've got all numbers, which means that I'm on Google Analytics 4. If you happen to see UA as your ID and a bunch of numbers, you're not on the right one. And there is a process to convert over to the new one. You can just go to your into the admin again, and then there's a button to actually kind of walk you through converting you over to the new Google Analytics. If you don't convert and you're still on the old, it won't remove your history, but you will no longer be collecting history for your website. So if you go to g.co/analytics to sign up, you can sign up for your own Google Analytics account. Like all Google products, you have to have a Gmail account to use Google products. So if you don't have a Gmail account, unfortunately, you're going to have to create one in order to use Google Analytics. And you kind of register the account under that Gmail account. And then it does walk you through creating and telling it what your website is, and then how to make the connection. So there's a little thing down there on the bottom, that says Google Analytics on CMS platforms. As I mentioned in the beginning, when you create a Google Analytics account, they're going to give you a unique ID. And that unique ID you need to embed into your website. And I won't get into the technical aspect of what that means. If you need help with that, I'm more than happy to help you do that. But all of the major platforms out there today provide you with a way of embedding Google's analytics into them. And once you do that, right now, Google Analytics will start collecting information on your website. And just a word of warning, when you create your Google Analytics account and you hook your website up to it, you don't instantly get data. All right. I tell most of my clients, wait a week, come back, and then you'll start to have some data. And of course, obviously, that all depends on how many people visit your website on a regular basis. But just don't be frustrated if you create your Google Analytics page and there's nothing there. Literally all of the graphs are empty, because it doesn't start collecting until you create your account and point your website to Google Analytics. So this is so there's this thing called Setup Assist. When you log into your Google Analytics, there's a little key down here, a little cog. That's your admin thing. You click on that, and there's a little option right here to convert you over. So if you need to convert over to the new analytics, that's how you would do it. We will share this presentation, and it does have the URLs to get more information on how to convert that over. All right, understanding your account. So when you first come into Google, they have a home page, right, that has some information that they feel is kind of your dashboard. One thing nice about Google Analytics is all of the pages are configurable by you. I think by default on the home page, they'll put information about sales. So if you scroll down below the screen that you see there, there'll be some applets that have details about your sales. Well, if you don't sell on your website, you can remove those, from your home page. But there's always the ability to kind of customize this and present you with the right graphics that are relevant to you and to your goals. All right, so now we'll take you through some of the components. So as I just said, you have the ability to highlight or to customize. Some of the other kind of general features with Google Analytics, it does allow you to set date ranges. So, you can do this today, this week, this month, past 30 days, past 90 days, current year, and then they even have a custom one. So it's kind of nice to kind of look at your data over different periods of times to see if there's some trends that maybe you can gather from that. You can do comparisons. So compare this month to last month. And so it'll then give you some detailed information about how they're different. And then it also allows you to do filters. Show me only the people who are from Massachusetts who visited my site, or show me only women who visited my site. So it allows you to kind of filter your data to whatever makes the most sense for you. One of the neat things that I used to love doing was this live view. So this actually shows who's on your website right now. And if you want a good rush, sit here and watch this screen. And as people pop on your website, your heart starts beating and wondering, okay, am I going to make a sale? Or am I going to get a phone call now? And it's pretty cool to watch. and it gives you some information about who that individual is on your website, what pages they're traversing. It's kind of a neat tool that they have to do. So if you're doing a marketing campaign, let's just say you decide to boost a post on Facebook, and that post is directing people towards your site. You go ahead, you make that boost, you come over here, you flip over to this live view and actually watch the interactions of that post onto your website. It's a pretty neat thing to watch. And if nothing happens, well, then we know your post really wasn't achieving what you were hoping it would achieve. But this is a really neat tool that they have. It's called real time. Acquisition overview. So I love this one because it tells you where people are, how they arrive on your website, meaning where did they come from? So was it social media that they came from? Was it a Google search that they came from that's considered organic? Did they have the URL and it was a direct shot to your website? So you can glean some really good information from here. I've worked with many of my clients on this, and we find that there are other websites that they didn't even know that their website was listed on, and they're getting traffic from there. So that's an important piece of information to know. I had a massage therapist who I was working with, and she was part of an organization and didn't even remember that she had an account there and a profile there. And she was actually getting a bunch of traffic to her website from that profile. It's good to know, right? So it's an area now to target. So they have an acquisition page that kind of gives you some information about where people are coming. So I just grabbed mine from our website here at the Small Business Development Center. Number one source is direct. So people have our URL, whether it's from our emails or from materials that we send out. But in this particular, I think this was year to date, 751 individuals came directly to our website. Next in line was referral from clarku.edu. So we are listed on the Clark site because we are hosted here by Clark. So 279 people came from the Clark site. Next in line, 234 individuals, organic search. They did some kind of a search on Google, and they found us and came to us that way. So it's interesting to kind of see this and understand where your people are coming from to your website. So the fourth in line here is the MSPDC website, which is our state website. So this is called acquisitions. Engagement. So I love the terms that they use here, user stickiness. So the whole idea here is, how are people engaging on your website? In the particular example around the screen, average engagement time, 1 minute, 46 seconds. Engagement sessions per user, 1.2. Average engagement time per session, 1 minute, 14 seconds. So it just starts to give you a little bit of an understanding of how people are engaging with your website. Are they staying on your site for a long time? There's a menu option. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Pages and Screens. So that actually will show you what pages they visited on your website and how often. So I grab that from our website. And what we see is our home page. That's what the slash is. Obviously, most common page that people go to. So almost 2,000 individuals viewed our homepage. But what's interesting is the next popular page on our website is our team page. And that's a page that talks about the 5 members here in the office. We each have a picture, a profile about ourselves on there. And so that obviously is important information for our client base to know who we are and what our backgrounds are. And then the next in line is resources. And so that's a page that we have on our website where you can go and get some detailed resource information, how to start a business, differences between an LLC versus a sole proprietor from a tax perspective. We've got a whole bunch of links and details and information out there. So this is kind of a nice way to understand the popularity of pages on your website. This is where I found that aside from my homepage, my number 2 page of my co-working space was my FAQ page, which honestly was a bit disappointing. I was hoping people would actually book, rooms and things, but obviously in the beginning stages of my business, most people didn't understand what co-working was. So the FAQ page was a vital page for my business. If you do sell on your website, Google does have a way of kind of tracking the money. And again, takes all of that demographic information and helps you understand who's buying. Men, woman, location, a whole bunch of information about who are the individuals that are buying your thing, even down to what time of day are people buying most often. So as I said, it's a pretty detailed engine, and it can get pretty far down a bit of information. And then retention talks about people who come back to your website. And so for some of you, that this may not be a goal. Every business is different, and sometimes retention isn't great. You want them to come in, but if you're selling something, obviously you want them to come back and buy something often. So retention does become an important thing. So this helps you identify how many new users you have and how many returning users that you have. And again, you can break all of that information down by all of the different levels of demographics. You can apply all the filters, you can provide date ranges, all of that stuff. So everything we talked about as to what the tool can do, you can do at any one of these filters. Okay, so I don't know if this is important to some people or not. It is in the design of your website, but Google can also help you understand what technology people are using to access your website. Is it a desktop? Is it a mobile device? Is it a tablet? Are they using Chrome, Safari? What are some of the other ones that are out there? Edge from Microsoft. It even gets down to screen resolution. What screen resolutions are people using to view your website? And that's kind of an interesting thing, because it tells you how much of a page they can see at one time. So if you've designed, this long page, but the majority of your people are using it on a little screen, then you may want to reconsider, how you've designed your site. Obviously, you need to make sure your websites are responsive, which means that they adapt adequately for all of the different devices that use your site. I have so many of my clients tell me, all my clients, it's all mobile. And one client was just adamant that all of her clients were mobile. So we went out and looked on Google Analytics, and lo and behold, 64% of her clients on her website were coming from a desktop. So just information, good to know. Again, don't make gut decisions, make real decisions based on data. Google then provides you with this information. So we've all heard of ChatGPT and AI and how its introduction into our world. Well, Google's no different. They've introduced this search window in Google Analytics that allows you to go in and ask a question, and it will provide an answer for you. All right. I think saying it's AI is a bit of a stretch, but they do. It's definitely a really good search engine, but it's something that they provide. So they have an analytic, it's called analytics intelligence. So you can go in there and say, what age are my customers? What city is most likely to view an item? What's the most popular zip code of an individual that, that's coming to my website? So you can ask these questions, and what Google does is it goes and finds the right graph and presents it back to you. So it's pretty nice, instead of, because Google Analytics is so complex, it actually is kind of nice. Instead of trying to figure out, oh, was this over here or was this over here? Just ask the question and it'll present you with a graph with an answer. So I did try it. It worked great. I thought, I thought it was a great tool that they've added. This is all part of that new version of Google Analytics. All right. Customer insight via analytics intelligence. So they have an entire section where you can go in and build insights. And I don't know a lot about this. I know that it's incredibly powerful. It allows you to create your own little widgets, own little graphs. And it is pretty complex. I spent about a half hour on it yesterday, trying to understand it. And like I said, it was pretty intense. But if you want to spend the time and learn about it, it is a very powerful tool for you to use to kind of get information from your website. They talk about dimensions, secondary dimensions, and segments, and those are just fancy words for categories. The dimension could be a city, and then a secondary dimension could be a specific demographic. I only want to see males in New York City who have bought a product from me in the past, year. So, those are the categories that they use. So, like I said, they have a whole section on this in Google Analytics. It's under the exploration section. One of my favorite things, it used to be out of the box in the old version of analytics, but now you've got to go in and build it in the exploration section, is this little thing that I have down here on the side. It actually helps you understand how individuals traverse through your website. So I did this for our website. I think I chose the past couple of months. 333 people came to our homepage. From there, 19 of them went to meet the team. 11 of them went to our small business resource. 7 of them went to our webinar. So if you look at these numbers, you can actually see that not very many people left our homepage. So we have a problem with our homepage in that it's not enticing individuals to go beyond the homepage. Then I clicked on this line here, small business resources, and then it showed me where did they go from there. Well, they went back to our homepage. 4 went back to the homepage. 1 went to go meet the team. And one of them actually looks like they went to a video that we had posted on our site. So very powerful information. I use this all the time when I had my co-working business to understand how people are going through my website. And when you see something like 331 individuals are on a page and only maybe 30, 40 people went beyond that page, that tells you you've got to do something different. Well, I guess it could mean 2 things, right? It could either mean you did an excellent job and provided them with the information they needed on the homepage, or you didn't provide enough, they got bored and they left. All right, so back to Eva and Ricky. What did they learn? they learned that they did achieve their SMART goals with their 3 target cities. They discovered the 3 cities didn't all perform the same way, based on the results of the analytics. And then from that, they were able to make better marketing decisions on how to go forward. Again, kind of really the overall message here is make better decisions based on, actual data of what you're doing. For those of you who use Google Ads, of course, Google Analytics will monitor your ads. Now, a discussion on Google Ads is really a whole different webinar, but you get a lot of the exact same information around your ads if you run a Google ad. It does obviously talk a lot about the interaction with the ad, your click-throughs, and the whole thing about demographics of who's responding to it and all that. But Google Analytics can be used for Google Ads is, I guess, kind of the message I'd want to get across from that. Let's see, product links. This is just talking a little more about Google Ads. So this is, you would have to go into your admin section and then click on that Google ad listing, and then it allows you then to link your Google ad campaigns to your Google Analytics. Okay, where are we on time? Just 10 minutes. All right. Why use Google Analytics? Just to kind of recap, understand how people are using your website, who is using your website, measure the success of your SMART goals, and validate or discredit your gut feelings and test your marketing strategy to facts. Really the 4 prime reasons why you would use Google Analytics. Plus, as a business owner, it's always good to understand, who's using your website and who are you attracting. So where do you go from here? Again, we'll send out this presentation, but you want to set up your Google Analytics. If you're on the old format, you want to migrate over to the new one. Spend some time on it, learn what's happening on your website, create your goals, and then start to measure the success of your goals. All right. So that gives us about 10 minutes. I hope that give you at least a good overview of what Google Analytics is, and how it can help you run your business, and probably most importantly, create effective marketing campaigns and make adjustments to your marketing campaigns based on empirical data that you see through analytics. All right. Anybody have questions? You've been a quiet group.
Somebody has a question.
About strategies for targeting a place demographic. So Google Analytics is just a tool to kind of market or analyze how successful you are at targeting, a particular market. When you do social media kind of campaigns, let's just take Facebook because it's what I'm most familiar with. You can go in and target specific cities, target specific demographics. You then use that, you do that campaign, and you then come back to analytics and analyze, did you really attract the individuals that you thought you wanted to? And did they actually do what you thought you hoped they would do? So let's just say your marketing campaign is just to get people to sign up for a newsletter. Well, did they? When you maybe you created a unique landing page on your website for that marketing campaign, did they traverse off that page? Did they explore your site anymore or not? Or did they actually click on that button to become, to sign up for your newsletter? If you're running a campaign to sell your newest product, your marketing campaign is going to take them right to that product on your website. Well, where did they go from there? Did they actually buy, did they buy anything, from you? Did they buy that product? So are there people out there currently using Google Analytics? And if so, what's your experience, with that? I'm just kind of curious.
I've never seen such a quiet group.
Sarah, I see your post. I'm having trouble with Google listings in general. Can someone at SBDC help me? Yeah, we can help you with that. We do some SEO work. We're surely not SEO experts, but I've done enough websites to try to help you get further along in your search results. We do work with Clark University graduate students who actually majored in that field, marketing analytics. They can work with us and help us as well. So the only thing we would need you to do if you're not already a client is just register. That's the QR code on the left-hand side of your screen there. If you register with us, just ask for me, and then I can help you with that. How effective my SEO words are. There's another Google product out there that actually helps you with tracking SEO and SEO and the effectiveness of words that you use. It's search.google.com. So it's all about the search engine of Google. And that also is a very complex tool, free, but it helps you understand how Google visualizes your website. It helps you identify areas. Maybe Google isn't indexing certain pages. I have one client who we're just struggling with. It won't index her homepage. And it's reporting an error on this search. It's like, I forget what they call it, but I know it's search.google.com. So that tool is what's used to kind of help you with what keywords are being used to get to your website. It's a lot of information to grasp. I agree. Review your entire presentation. Sure. There's a lot to it, without a doubt. And I've 25 years in the IT world. I struggle with Google Analytics just because of how many different branches and reports and different things that are out there. It is a powerful tool, and it's really something. It's free. So, you should try to make the best of it as best as you can. If you can have someone help you with it, if technology isn't your strong suit, that's great. As I said, we can help you walk through your Google Analytics. We surely can help you get it set up. And even if you just look at the CAN reports that come out of it, that puts you miles ahead of where you were before that. A lot of the website builder tools do provide some analytics. I'm a Squarespace developer. I know that they've got an analytics section, and I think they have like 5 reports that you can look at to see your traffic and some demographic information. But Google Analytics goes well beyond that. So I'm just reading the notes here. All right. Thank you all for the comments.
We're going to be, well, we have recorded this, and then we will get it posted on our website, right, Rob?
Yeah, we will. We'll actually post the actual presentation on the website as well. Give me a day or two. I've got to get it formatted, get it up on YouTube, and then link it to our site. So it takes me about a day or so to do that. Yeah. So I'm reading the comment. It seems the world now is so invasive. It's incredible what information people know about you or have access to. And a lot of it depends on how open you are in the world of the internet. The more information you share on social platforms and on different platforms on the internet, the more Google grabs and keeps and retains. So yeah, it's a scary world out there. And you really should be protective, of your personal information. But when you're a business owner, you kind of hope that people aren't, right? Because you want to get as much information about them, the people who are coming to your website, as you can to help you make better decisions. So it's a catch-22 when you own a business. Are there other analytic tools that are out there? From Bob. I'm trying to think of, there are, I know there are, I can't think of what their names are. I don't know of any of them who are free. So that's one of the beauties of Google. They provide a whole bunch of stuff for free. Obviously, free is a relative term because they capture information about you using the tools, and then they use that information. We live in a world of data at this point. But there are other tools that are out there. Right now the names kind of escape me as to what they are. So what is the average cost of Google Analytics? It's free. There is no cost to it. Really, the only thing as required, as I mentioned, is a Gmail account, and you can get a free Gmail account from Google to then open up the analytics store. Are there any industry comparison tools? That's a great question. As far as I'm assuming you mean like as far as traffic to websites. If I'm a plumber, what other plumbers are having, traffic to their website. I'm not aware of any tool that records internet traffic and does comparisons against different sites or things like that. I'm not saying they're not out there. There's almost something for everybody out there. All right. Well, thank you all very much. It's exactly 10 o'clock at this point. And like I said, if you need some help with this, just scan that QR code there, or go to our website, msbdc@clarku.com, and there's register buttons all over the site. Again, our services are 100% free, or I should say no cost.
No cost.
And everything we do is confidential and one-on-one. So if you need some assistance, let us know. And so thank you again for joining us, and I wish you all a good day. Thank you.